I was in a group out here at Bellagio where we were looking at the different dimensions of prototyping, and our subgroup looked at what might prototyping be when you're trying to work on complex systems. And so we were asking ourselves what might be some of the principles, and also asking ourselves whether some of the fairly well established principles of prototyping in simpler regimes such as product or service space, could they be made applicable for work in the systems arena. So first and foremost, we identified that that a prototype has a certain purpose. It's the cheapest way or cheapest approach or artifact that can test assumptions and also the driving dynamics. By driving dynamics, we mean the confluence of the forces that are at play in whatever it is that you're trying to do. So if you prototype, then it's a way of testing how the forces play with each other, and it gives the intervention designer an understanding of what's really happening. But we also recognize that prototype was not just a means of testing, something you thought of, but also a way of thinking and a way of designing. So the act of making a prototype might be used as a design mechanism in itself. So in the systems arena, the difference between what happens in the system and in a simpler regime is that we are dealing with dynamic relationships, we are dealing with feedback loops, we are dealing with many different layers and social issues, human issues, infrastructural issues, governance issues, etc. And also emergent properties where you do something and it changes the system, and as a result of changing the system, unexpected things happen, and that is a complicated area. So some of the principles that we came up with are a prototype should test both failure modes that you can imagine, but also unknown ones. You should be open to failure modes, so it should be designed for that. Some of the prototypes could involve a time domain where you're looking for second order phenomena. So it should also try to look for ways in which you can use tools such as scenario based planning or modeling or agent based modeling or use tools like foresight in order to figure out what some of the tertiary effects might be. It should be designed to reveal underlying driving dynamics or confirm your models that you have. So in a sense of prototype is being used both as a scalpel and a flashlight to light up some area of the system or open up some area of the system. But in lighting up an area of the system, one should recognize that any one prototype, unless you do it at scale, can only light up some specific area of the system. And if you light up one area and some other area, you could miss a very strong boundary condition between the two and assume that it's a continuum. So one has to look out for what's called local maxima, which means that if you think that something is really good out here and in every direction it's less than that, you might have found a small hill, but you could be standing next to a mountain and your test needs to figure out whether there are other maxima that are even more. So a prototype in a systems regime should be used to simulate the interaction between the various system actors or agents. So that might be human stakeholders, it could be institutional stakeholders, but also issues such as resource flow. And I think that speaking about that, one of the biggest things that is in play in a systems arena is human behavior and motivations, and how motivations and underlying cultural beliefs play out. And so that's the context in which it should be played out. And a prototype is typically particularly useful when it's embedded in a specific context, but with the understanding that systems, large systems and systems changes actually encompass many different contexts. So, it should be used as a platform to understand context sensitivity.